Welcome to Swift Language Basics. After watching this video, you'll be able to define the fundamental concepts in Swift, such as functions, classes, objects, and collection types. Explore arrays, sets, and dictionaries. Explain the steps to create a collection in Swift. Imagine you're required to develop an app in Swift. Before you start coding, it is essential to understand the basics of Swift. By doing so, you can create efficient functions and provide a seamless app experience. This video introduces you to the basics of Swift language, including functions, classes, objects, and collection types. Let's begin by exploring functions. Functions are like a cake recipe. Once you master the recipe, you can use it to bake more batches without rewriting the instructions every time. Likewise, functions refer to self-contained blocks of code that perform a specific task. They organize codes into reusable pieces. Next, the code snippet on the screen displays a basic syntax for defining a function in Swift. Let's explore it in detail. The func keyword defines a function. The function name is the name of the function. Next, parameter type refers to the input parameter. You can separate multiple parameters using commas. Their return type returns the value of the function. You can omit this part or use void if the function doesn't return a value. Finally, the function's body inside the curly brackets performs the work. Meanwhile, this code snippet defines a function in Swift. In this example, the code snippet calls the function and prints the greeting. Now, let's start creating your first function. Here, the add function takes two integers as the parameters and returns their sum. Now that you've created your first function, let's explore classes. Classes act as blueprints for creating instances, allowing you to create objects with properties and methods. The code snippet on the screen defines a class. Here, this part of the code defines a new class named car. These lines declare two properties for the car class. This part of the code sets up an instance of the class. Finally, this part of the code defines a method named description for the car class. Likewise, this code shows the creation of an instance of the class. Before delving into Swift's next component, let's demonstrate the steps you learned earlier and create your first class. Here, the Books class has the properties title and author. This part of the code illustrates the method description that returns a string describing the book. Now let's check out the output of your class. Next, objects are class instances that can be created by calling the class's initializer. In the code snippet displayed on the screen, there is an object person1 of the person class with name Alice and age 30. Let's look at the output. Now that you know what objects are, let's create one. You are required to define a car class with the following properties: make, which is a string, model is also a string, and a year is an integer. Now add an initializer to the car class that sets these properties. Finally, add a method description that prints out the car's details. Now, create two car objects with different making, models, and years. The given example demonstrates calling the method description on two objects, car1 and car2. The description method returns a string describing the car's attributes, such as make, model, and year. Next, Swift offers three primary types of collections such as arrays, sets, and dictionaries. First, arrays refer to ordered collections of the same types of values, and their indices start at 0. Let's explore an example for creating and accessing arrays. This line of the code snippet creates an array named fruits, containing three elements: apple, banana, and cherry. The highlighted code snippet accesses the first element of the fruits array and prints it. The resulting output will be apple. Now, add elements to an array. The next type of collection is sets, which refer to unordered collections of unique values. The code displayed on the screen is an example of a code snippet that creates and uses a set. Finally, dictionaries refer to a collection of key-value pairs, and dictionary keys are unique values. The code displayed on the screen shows how to create and assess dictionaries. Likewise, this code shows how to add elements to a dictionary. Finally, let's create different collections. As the first step, create an array of integers from 1 to 5. Then, create a set of strings containing 3 different city names. Lastly, create a dictionary with 3 countries as keys and their capitals as values. In this video, you learned that functions are self-contained blocks of code that perform a specific task. Classes act as blueprints for creating instances, allowing you to create objects with properties and methods. Objects are class instances that can be created by calling the class's initializer. Swift offers 3 primary types of collections: arrays, sets, and dictionaries. Arrays refer to ordered collections of the same values, whereas sets refer to unordered collections of unique values. Dictionaries refer to collections of key value pairs. Finally, the steps to create different collections include creating an array of integers, a set of strings, and a dictionary.